The serpent drives home his attack against Cadmus, who opposes it with his lance, which the serpent bites at. It, however, pierces the palate, and we finish up our previous lines with the green grass being tinged with the serpent's red blood. This is the end of the serpent, right? Let's read through the next 8 lines. Sed leve vulnus erat, quia se retrahebat abictu, laesaque colla dabat, retro pragamque sedere, que dendarque bat, nec longius ira senebat, don nec agen rides conjectin gutera ferrum, usque sequens pressit, dum retro quercus eunti obstitit, et fixast pariter cum robor cervix. Pondera serpentis, curvatast arboret imae, parte flagellari gemuit, sua robora caudae. We are supposed to think that the blood on the grass signifies the conclusion of the battle, but this is Hollywood. This is Roman epic poetry, and all great battles with legendary adversaries must end spectacularly, just like the end of Beethoven's Ninth. So we find out in the first half line that this lance in the roof of the serpent's mouth wasn't really that bad. And there's a reason for this too. Notice that Ovid has major reinforcement in a great tricolon on why the wound wasn't serious, with first retrahebat, then dabat retro, and finally cadendo. Momentum, though, is on Cadmus's side. So the serpent is retreating. The next line and a half is back to Cadmus. If you read the line linearly, as the Romans would have heard it, you'll see that Cadmus, agenorides, is doing the action. He's the subject. Then, though, we get our object, ferrum, the spear point, although here the ferrum is probably talking about the entire spear rather than just the point. The participle that modifies ferrum, conjectum, is a perfect passive participle, and keep that in mind. Then finally, in the next line, we get another participle, sequens, a present participle, also keep that in mind, then the verb. The times of these participles is important. First, the perfect passive participle occurred, because the spear, the ferrum, is already hurled. Then the verb happens, and as he is following this up, he pressed the spear in the throat. That's sequens, press it. Remember, perfect participles happen before the main verb, and present participles happen at the same time as the main verb. So we could understand this phrase better as he hurled and then pressed. It's a nice compressed sentence that could really illustrate the quickness of Cadmus's actions. So even though the serpent has knocked down any tree opposing it, there is still one oak left. That's the quercus. The verb in the next line, obstitit, takes its object in the dative, which is eunti, a present participle describing the serpent as it is going backwards. The final details of the serpent's demise are unique in all of epic literature. Of course, since this is Hollywood, epic, Ovid's conclusion is necessarily amazing. Check out the caesura in line 93. It separates out the ablative phrase, pondera serpentis, from the main part of the sentence, curvatast arbor. And the caesura in line 94 separates out the head verb gemuit from the verb in the indirect statement. Flagellari, just like the events here, was invented just for this purpose. And the ending ari is the present passive ending of the infinitive. Don't forget to find the accusative subject for this indirect statement. Okay, let's read through the lines one more time and visualize the end of the serpent. Sed leve vulnus erat, quia se retrahebat abictu, laesaque colla dabat, retro plagamque sedere, que dendarque bat, nec longius ira senebat, don nec agen rides, conjectin gutera ferrum, usque sequens pressit, dum retro quercus eunti obstitit, et fixast pariter cum robor cervix, pondera serpentis, curvatast arboret imae, parte flagellari gemuit, sua robora caudae.